Welcome to a deep dive into a future that feels a little too close for comfort.
Yeah.
We're going to be cracking open Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Okay.
And its film adaptation, Blade Runner.
Right.
And you have given us a fantastic mix of academic papers,
Yes.
reviews, and even some articles looking at how these stories speak to us today.
And they really do.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what makes Dick's work so enduring. It's
Right.
science fiction, but it's also a reflection of our deepest fears and anxieties.
Okay, so let's set the scene.
Okay.
Both the book and the film drop us into this dystopian future where Earth is basically on life support.
Mm-hmm.
After World War terminus,
Yeah.
radioactive dust, most animals are extinct.
Right.
Humanity is scrambling to escape to off-world colonies.
It's bleak, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And when you consider that Dick originally set the book in 1992,
Wow.
later shifted to 2021 for the film,
Oh, wow.
it makes you wonder, how far off is this world from our own, those anxieties about climate change, about the planet's future? They're woven right into the fabric of these stories.
Right. And it's not just the environmental collapse that's unsettling.
Yeah.
You've got these mega corporations like the Tyrell Corporation
Mm-hmm.
that have become more powerful than governments.
Right.
They're the ones building these incredibly lifelike androids, the replicants,
Yes.
to do the dirty work in the off-world colonies.
That visual from the film of Tyrell's massive pyramid headquarters looming over the decaying city,
Oh, yeah.
that's such a powerful image of corporate dominance.
Yes.
It speaks to those real-world concerns we have about who holds the power and who benefits from these technological leaps forward.
But here's what I find fascinating. Despite the dystopia,
Yeah.
despite the struggle for survival, consumerism is alive and well.
Right.
Everyone's bombarded with ads for off-world immigration, for the latest gadgets,
Sure.
even if it's all just out of reach for most people.
It's that classic bread and circuses. Right. Keep people distracted with shiny things, with the promise of a better life elsewhere.
Right.
And they won't focus on the problems right in front of them.
And even the entertainment is a facade. I mean,
total.
Buster Friendly, the biggest celebrity on TV, turns out to be an android.
Think about that.
Yeah.
The person making you laugh, providing you with comfort and escape, isn't even human.
Yeah.
Dick is playing with this idea that we're already surrounded by artificiality,
Wow.
and we're becoming increasingly numb to it.
Yeah.
It makes you question, where do we draw the line between what's real and what's manufactured?
It's a question that runs through the whole story.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the replicants.
Right.
They look human.
Mm-hmm.
They act human.
Right.
But they're considered less than because they supposedly lack empathy.
Yes.
That's where the Voight-Kamp test comes in, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's this elaborate psychological test designed to detect androids by measuring their emotional responses. But one of the sources you provided goes into fascinating detail about the specific questions used in the test.
Oh, wow.
It makes you realize how subjective and flawed even our attempts to measure something like empathy can be.
And then there's the mood organ.
Oh, yeah.
This device from the book that lets you dial up specific emotions.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder, are those emotions any less real just because they're induced by technology?
That's a brilliant point.
Yeah.
Dick is pushing us to consider, what does it even mean to be human in a world where our emotions, our very experiences, can be manipulated?
Right.
And maybe more importantly, are we already living in that world?
Oh.
Yeah, it's like he's holding up a mirror and asking, are you sure you're feeling what you think you're feeling?
Whoa.
That question of authenticity really hits home when you consider the role of animals in these stories.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So true. Owning a real animal, it's like a status symbol in this world.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it shows you can afford something genuine. Something that connects you to a past that's been lost.
Totally.
Deckard's longing for a real shoop instead of his electric one.
Mm-hmm.
It's so poignant. And even after he gets a real goat,
Right.
he ends up with an electric toad at the end.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like this yearning for authenticity can never be fully satisfied.
It's like we're constantly chasing something real in a world that's becoming increasingly artificial.
Right.
And you see that play out in the theme of empathy,
Yeah.
which seems to be the key marker of what makes us human,
Uh-huh.
at least according to the Voight-Kamp test.
But even that gets complicated.
Oh, yeah.
You've got characters like Rick Resch, the
Right.
bounty hunter,
Right.
who's so cold and detached.
Yeah.
He even starts to question his own humanity.
Right. And then you have some of the replicants like Rachel who seem to develop genuine feelings.
Yes.
It makes you wonder, are we really judging humanity based on the right criteria.
It challenges that simple binary of human equals empathy, android equals lack of empathy.
One of the articles you shared even argued that it's actually through the androids that we come to a deeper understanding of what empathy truly means.
Because they have to work so hard to understand and mimic human emotions.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
They're forced to confront the complexities of human nature in a way that many humans who simply take their emotions for granted
Right.
never do.
Okay, so we've got this dystopian setting.
Yeah.
This blurring of the lines between human and artificial. This desperate search for authenticity.
Yeah.
And underpinning it all is the role of technology.
Which, of course, is a double-edged sword.
Right.
On one hand, you've got incredible advancements like androids, mood organs, space travel. It's dazzling.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you see the consequences. Environmental destruction, social decay, a loss of connection.
And it feels like that tension between the promise and the peril of technology is only becoming more relevant in our own world.
Absolutely. The anxieties that Dick was tapping into in the 60s and 80s,
Right.
they haven't gone away.
If anything, they've intensified with the rise of social media, AI,
Yeah.
and the increasing pervasiveness of technology in our lives.
It makes you wonder, what would Dick make of our world today?
Oh.
If you were writing, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Now,
Yeah.
what new technologies would he be exploring?
Oh, he'd have a field day.
Yeah.
Imagine androids so advanced.
Right.
They're indistinguishable from humans, even on a cellular level.
Whoa.
Mood organs that can manipulate our emotions through algorithms and personalized data.
Wow.
The possibilities are both fascinating and terrifying.
Speaking of terrifying,
Yeah.
there's that other device in the book, the empathy box.
Oh, yeah.
It allows people to connect to a shared virtual reality of suffering
Yeah.
centered around this figure called Wilbur Mercer.
It's like a commentary on how technology can be used to manipulate our emotions, our sense of spirituality even.
Yeah.
And then there's the revelation that the whole Mercerism religion is a hoax orchestrated through the media.
Which, when you think about it, it's kind of a precursor to the fake news and misinformation we grapple with today.
Totally.
The lines between reality and fabrication are becoming increasingly blurred.
And that's the danger, isn't it?
Yeah.
When technology starts to dictate our experiences, our values, our very sense of self, we risk losing that essential spark of human agency,
Right.
that ability to think critically and challenge the status quo.
I remember one of the reviews you shared argued that Dick wasn't necessarily anti-technology.
Right.
He was more concerned with how we use it,
Yeah.
how it shapes our understanding of what it means to be human.
Exactly. He's not offering easy answers, but he's forcing us to ask the tough questions.
Which is probably why these stories continue to resonate so deeply with us.
Yeah.
They hold up a mirror to our own anxieties and aspirations, revealing the complex and often contradictory nature of what it means to be human in a world that's constantly evolving. It's like he's saying, hey, this shiny new technology is cool, but let's not forget what makes us human in the first place.
Right.
And that idea of losing our humanity.
Yeah. It's not always some dramatic robot uprising scenario.
Right.
It can be something much more subtle,
Yeah.
like the slow erosion of empathy,
Right.
or the inability to distinguish between real and artificial experiences.
That's what makes Dick's work so unsettling and so relevant.
Yeah.
He's not just writing about futuristic gadgets.
Right.
He's exploring the psychological and emotional consequences of living in a world where technology increasingly mediates our experiences.
And that brings us back to the question you posed earlier.
Yeah.
What would Dick make of our world today?
Right.
I mean, we've got social media algorithms that curate our news feeds, filter bubbles that reinforce our existing beliefs. It's
Yeah.
almost like we're all living in our own personalized versions of reality.
And the very devices we use to connect with others can also isolate us,
Yeah.
trapping us in these echo chambers
Yeah.
where dissenting voices are filtered out.
Right.
It's a far cry from the empathy box.
Right. But the underlying principle is similar. Technology shaping our perceptions, our emotions, our understanding of the world.
So if Deckard were a Blade Runner in 2024,
Yeah.
maybe he wouldn't be hunting down rogue androids.
Right.
Maybe he'd be trying to expose the algorithms that are manipulating our emotions, or tracking down the sources of deepfakes that are blurring the lines between truth and fiction.
Or maybe the new androids aren't fleeing to Earth.
Oh.
They're infiltrating the metaverse,
Oh,
creating virtual realities that are so seductive,
right.
so immersive,
Yeah.
that we lose ourselves in them.
And the Voight-Kampff test.
Yeah.
I wonder how you'd even measure empathy in a world where people are constantly curating their online personas,
Right.
projecting an idealized version of themselves.
It's a question that Dick's work forces us to confront.
Yeah.
Are we becoming so accustomed to artificiality, so detached from genuine human connection,
Right.
that we're losing the very qualities that define us?
It's a sobering thought. But I think that's the power of these stories.
Right.
They don't offer easy answers,
Yeah.
but they spark these important conversations
Yeah.
about our relationship with technology, with each other, and with ourselves.
And they remind us that the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create through the choices we make today.
So the next time you find yourself scrolling through your social media feed
Yeah.
or losing yourself in a virtual world,
Right.
take a moment to pause and ask yourself,
Mm-hmm.
am I in control
Right.
or am I being controlled?
Yeah.
Am I living a genuine life or am I just chasing electric sheep?
Those are questions worth pondering.
Yeah.
And they're questions that Philip K. Dick's work invites us to keep asking
Right.
long after we've finished reading or watching.
Well, that was a fascinating deep dive.
Yeah, it was.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep and Blade Runner.
Absolutely.
We hope it's left you with some new insights.
Yeah.
And maybe even a few questions to ponder. Until next time, keep exploring
Keep questioning.
and keep dreaming.
But maybe not of electric sheep.